Okay, what's good? So I just released a message that was really wild and fun and interesting, but it referenced once again the Wall of Jericho. And I was like, I really need to review that story because I'm sitting here flowing like revelation. And depending on my memory of that story from like before I just walked through my crazy like storm of life. And so I was like, I should review that story and make sure I'm even telling the right story because there's a lot of battle stories in the word that I'm familiar with. And so I was hoping I wasn't confusing them because like anyway, I'm not going to get into all of the ones I could list, but listen to this. This is so interesting. So the Bible story of the Battle of Jericho is found in the book of Joshua, chapter 6. This was the first conquest of the Israelites as they set out to win the land of Canaan. So remember, this is the first generation that their parents wandered around in the desert for 40 years because trying to shake off slavery, pretty much. Trying to figure out how to get into alignment with the vibration, with the identity of free people. Okay, so Joshua became the leader. Moses never actually went into the land. Which, by the way, on the one hand, I know that people are probably like, oh, that must have been so disappointing. But Moses like did his part. For him to be able to graduate, to leave this realm and go to the give me a higher love, oh, give me a higher love. I don't think he was disappointed. Okay, so anyway, let me continue. I'm going to try and keep this short. So what happened is God instructed Joshua with an unusual strategy for the Battle of Jericho. He told Joshua to have his army march around the city once a day for 6 straight days. While marching, the soldiers played their trumpets as the priests carried the Ark of the Covenant around the city of Jericho. Okay, I'm going to keep talking, and then we got to remember to look. The Ark of the Covenant, like in the Old Testament, it will describe what was on it, like exactly how it was made, what it was. And I have, a theory on this. On the 7th day, the Israelites marched around the walls of Jericho 7 times. Joshua assured them that by God's order, everyone in the city must be slain except Rahab and her family. Oh yeah, they had to go in and fight. No pressure. Your very first battle. You better do good. Oh my gosh. All items and they didn't have any weapons. Remember? But did they? Oh no, they did. They had the Egyptians' weapons. Okay. Okay, wait, let me start at the right part. All items of silver, gold, bronze, and iron were to go into the Lord's depository. The point, I don't know what that part is. That's not what I'm talking about here. The point is this part. At Joshua's order, the men produced a powerful roar, and Jericho's walls miraculously fell down. The Israelite army raced in quickly, conquering the city, and as promised, only Rahab and her family were spared. Okay. Man. Energetically, that speaks to alignment, which I just did a word. I just did this channel that was like channeling this like kind of intense rant, like about you need to like pay attention to the energetic fields that you are allowing to remain in your atmosphere, and stop making excuses for grown people who just refuse to do the work. So this whole story, while it's like, by the way, just for context, everything I read in the 3D or in the Old Testament that like happened in the 3D, like all of the battles and everything, like the way I see that now is that we should be taking all of that knowledge and applying it energetically. You know, we don't have to be violent with it, but dealing with it in the spirit, but also like setting the boundaries in the spirit, like those kinds of things. Okay. But what I really came on here to say was about the whole, so imagine back in the day, these walls were probably made out of like mud and bricks, you know, obviously pre-machinery. So, you know, dirt, mud, brick walls, okay? And the strategy was to march around the city once a day for 6 straight days playing trumpets. So that sound, like the sound, they knew about sound and vibration, or at least the spirit, like, you know, led them in this direction with sound and vibration. It makes me wonder if carrying the Ark of the Covenant had some play in it because of whatever the material was. Like, was it crystals or gold or like, I can't remember. I've studied this before, but it's been a long time. So it's like, what was the Ark of the Covenant made of that would interact with the sound from the trumpets to then, in my opinion, it's like it loosened up, you know, vibration. It's vibration. It's vibration. So it's like you've seen what vibration does to like sand on a drum, like top, whatever that's called. So imagine the sound vibration of the trumpets, like loosening up the bricks, loosening up the dirt, loosening up the mortar, whatever, like the homemade mortar that they would have made. And then on the 7th day, what happened? At Joshua's order, the men produced a powerful roar. So now they had spent all those days loosening up the walls, and then with one huge sound surrounding the wall from the outside, it was like, woo, you know? It's kind of like, yeah, you can see the picture in your mind, I'm sure. So anyway, just really interesting. It's like a physics thing. And that's how they were able to, telling you, sound waves, sound, frequency, light waves are all like, Tesla said, if you think about everything in terms of, what did he say? Energy and frequency, something like that. You know, what we now know is like on the quantum level of physics. It's just very illuminating for sure. Anyway, be blessed, be well, be free.